All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, how's everybody doing out there? Listen, man, T.I., no matter what Kanye has did, especially this last little wave from Kanye in 2018, where he's been a heavy Trump supporter. We've seen him rocking the red Make America Great Again hats. He's at the White House taking pictures with Trump as of today, as a matter of fact. T.I. has been one of those guys who said, look, we cannot give up on Kanye West. I'm summarizing, not quoting T.I. word for word, but in his interviews in 2018, he pretty much has said, yo, Kanye is one of our own. This guy is somebody that we created as the black culture. And this is all true, right? We created this guy. We got to make sure no matter what kind of mental space he's in right now, we got to hold Kanye down because he's just going through the process right now. And he's going to come around. He always does. And we've invested too much into Kanye West to give up on him now. That's been T.I.'s stance. T.I. got a lot of backlash for that stance and supporting Kanye no matter what. Even after the Make America Great Again hat Kanye threw on, T.I. even went to Kanye in Calabasas, right? And apparently, or the Yeezy's office in Calabasas somewhere. They talked. They ended up voicing their frustration towards each other in a record called Ye versus the People. A lot of people said T.I. was on the wrong side of the fence, even doing music with Kanye at that point. He did the record, and it's a back and forth exchange between the two in which they're both saying their stances, in which Kanye is taking up for his stance of pretty much Donald Trump represents freedom. And T.I. is like, do you understand what putting that hat on means to the black community? So they even did that, right? T.I. has stood behind Ye and said, look, no matter what he's going through, I think Ye's going to come back around. Well, it looks like today T.I. finally had enough of standing up for his friend Kanye West, and he finally hopped on his Instagram account. By the way, Kanye West went to the White House today, and it looks like a lot of people thought Kanye was going for Kanye, and then there were the few people who thought maybe Kanye was going to evoke some type of change and actually do something for black people, get some type of bill passed for black people. It looks like today's focus was actually about the Music Monetization Act, I believe, and not anything that's going to help black and brown people. And T.I. voiced his frustration on Kanye. I mean, he's in the video telling Donald Trump, I love this man, I love this man, I love you. And T.I. went on his Instagram and gave this long statement. Bear with me, I'm going to read this thing out to you guys word for word. He said, now I've been extremely patient and made it to a point to not jump to any premature conclusions about Ye and his antics, partially due to the lessons learned from the outcome of other situations dealing with my brother Wayne, which I admittedly mishandled a bit in hindsight, but now this shit is next level. Futuristic Sambo, Hopping Bob, Steven off Django ass shit, Ye. From what I can gather, this is the most repulsive, this disgraceful, embarrassing act of desperation and auctioning off one's soul to gain power I've ever seen. Now recall you asking me to come with you to have this meeting, and I declined naturally. But bro, if any time I would have been in there with you and you behaved that spinelessly in my presence, I feel that I'd be compelled to slap the fuck out of you, bro, for the people. You ass kissing and boot licking on a whole new level, and I refuse to associate myself with something so weak and inconsiderate to the effect this has on the greater good of all our people. All right, T.I. went on to say he's frustrated. I'm a true believer in it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. And this shit is regurgitating. At one time, it was a pleasure to work alongside you. Now I'm ashamed to have ever been associated with you. To all the people who follow Ye musically, socially, or even personally, who are confused, heartbroken, and infuriated, let me make this clear. This shit ain't cool. This is a move Ye made for Ye. This is a play to put him in a position he'd like to see himself in. We are not on his mind as he makes these comments and decisions. Don't follow this puppet, because as long as I've lived, I've learned that it benefits a man nothing at all to gain. If to do so, he must lose his soul. We just saw Mr. West's soul on auction. If you listen closely, you can hear the tears of our ancestors hit the floor. Sheesh. All I can say is I've reached my limits, This is my stop. I'm officially done. Trump and his little cookie boy. Hashtag it's us or else. Strong words from Mr. T.I. Clifford Harris. By the way, T.I. put out a dope project last week. If you haven't checked it out, check out that Dime Trap. But this is much bigger than music, obviously, to T.I. He feels used, betrayed, and he used a lot more adjectives in that than I could ever use in that diatribe. And, man, I hate to be this guy, but it's kind of the thing when you tell T.I. at this point, we told you so. T.I. airs out Kanye West. He says he's had enough of taking up for his brother Kanye, and what he called him a Sambo. Yo, a hopping Bob, Steven off Django. He airs out his brother Kanye because he believes Kanye is doing this for Ye, not the better of the people. What y'all think, though? Y'all give me y'all comments in the comment box below. Thank y'all so much for the time, love, and support. I do not take it for granted. Salute. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
Got the kids, they are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO. Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO.
You watching Mr. TALIAFERRO TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.